Hello and a very warm welcome to a new episode of Airport CEO here on BongoPlanes, where we will be continuing our work on Terminal 2. I don't think we will quite manage to have operations here, but we will try to get as far as possible so that we can ensure that we will have aircraft coming in at Terminal 2 in the next episode. And at the end of this episode, we will also be adding a few more viewer requested airlines, and I might also pick one or two myself. As always, before we get started, if you should end up enjoying this video, then don't forget to leave a like. That really does help out the series and the channel. And of course, if you are new around here, you're always welcome to hit subscribe. Right, the first thing we will be doing here today is actually rework our road system a little bit, because I'm not quite happy with how things are going here, and that's mainly my fault because basically we have just used normal roads, but that's actually because when we started this, those were the only roads available. But since then, obviously, we've had also one-way streets, and that does help us out a lot. So we don't need to replace any of the roads, we just need to mark them as being one-way roads. That way we can then make sure that the cars and buses and taxis go in the way that we want them to arrive. We also need to switch around a few of these stops, because we can actually do that now, or we've actually been able to do that for quite a while now, as that feature was introduced right around the same time, or if not exactly at the same time as the one-way streets. We just need to switch it around, because otherwise I think the cars will get a little bit confused now with the one-way street. We were doing this here at Terminal 2, and we will have to fix that also over at Terminal 1. And I think maybe for next episode we should also quickly take a look over at our VIP terminal, or government terminal, or Air Force terminal. I think I've used all three terminologies at some point, but you know, the small little third terminal that we have, I think we also need to take a look at the road system over there at some point, but I don't think we will be doing it in this episode. Anyways, so that's the thing we need to do outside of the terminals. Obviously, we will also continue our work inside the terminal. So we managed to get basically the main foundation done in the last episode, so that's pretty much all done. So now we're really going to look at how we want to design the airport. And one thing I want to do is here, right after the security checks, I want to have a shop. That's very much inspired by real life Berlin Tegel Terminal 2, where they do have a shop right after the security zone. Basically, I don't think you can actually avoid going through it. It's a fairly normal thing. We have that at many airports, where you come from security and then straight into a shopping zone before you can reach your gates or the lounge or wherever you want to go, and we will have the same here. We will also start adding a little bit of queues here at our check-in desk, although I don't think I will do too many, and that's mainly because of the really awesome news I read about in the last developer blog, I think 1 or 2 weeks ago, it might have been 2 weeks back, where they gave a detailed inside look at to what they're working on right now, and I can just say it will be amazing. We will be getting passport checks. We will actually be able to segregate inbound and outbound passenger traffic if we want to. What else was there? I think, yeah, the moving walkways. I forgot the name again. I'm so sorry. I think you know what I mean. But what is also really awesome, and I think that's maybe even the best thing we will get, because it can really help out the airport, and that is automated check-in and automated baggage drop-offs, because they can apparently handle way more passenger traffic than the good old-fashioned check-in counters. So that's really amazing. They apparently do cost more in operational costs, but they are then also able to handle more passengers. So yeah, and again, then we should also at some point start digging in more into the whole R&D stuff, because we have really only scratched the surface. I've done a bit of training of some personnel, but obviously there's the whole R&D window within the menu where we can improve a lot of things. I haven't really done much on that so far, mainly because, well, we are still fully in construction part of our airport, but we could actually start looking into that a little bit, because obviously Terminal 1 is very close to finished, very close to being finished, and Terminal 2 will, not in this episode, but probably in the next episode, also start taking the first aircraft in, and I think that would be a good time then to start looking at that to try to improve our operations, at least from the cost point, because I think there we are really losing at the moment, and we would need to try to see if we could do something to save a bit of money here and there, at least if we want to try to have this airport running also cost efficiently. We don't have to, because there's a sandbox. The main feature here is really just to try out airport designs, but we could try to make the airport run somehow or somewhat realistic. Right, enough about that. You've seen me here add a bit of stuff around, obviously adding more shops. We will have a shop also in the departure hall here around the check-in area. We might have to change that a little bit once we get the automated check-in check-in desks. But we will see once that arrives. I think with the next update, lots of things will probably have to be adjusted and tweaked a little bit. I already know now that, for example, I definitely want to introduce the passport control. For that, we need to have a separate area for international traffic, and I think that would be perfect, for example, over at Terminal 1, where we have our wide body stands. At the moment, basically, you can move around freely anywhere around Terminal 1, and I would probably then change that and basically section off the part that will be the North Pier, where we have the wide body aircraft. But that's all to come once we get the update. They didn't mention when that update comes, so we're still in the dark about that. But I would say, given that they already wrote so much and in so great detail what they're doing, I would suspect it not to be totally far away. I would guess 1 or 2 months, but it is literally just a guess. So yeah, who knows? But well, I guess the developers will know. All right, so we have added much of the stuff we want here to Terminal 1. Right now here I'm working over at this little satellite, Terminal 1, Terminal 2. Right now we're working on this little satellite we have at Terminal 2, which helps us bringing passengers to the remote stands, which we have quite a few of at Terminal 2. We actually only have 4 stands or 4 gates at the terminal, and all the others, which I think is like 13-ish, they are all remote stands. So that's the majority at Terminal 2, which is maybe not entirely. I think it's more like 50-50 at Terminal 2 in real life at Berlin Tegel, but they do have quite a lot of remote stands at Terminal 2, if I remember correctly, at least. I do think so. It's been a while since I was there. Maybe they've also changed things, who knows. Yeah, we're always trying to lean on things they do at Berlin Tegel, whether it be Terminal 1 or Terminal 2 or the government's terminal. I mean, that's the whole concept of the series, but obviously we have to adjust given that this is a game and not reality, so there are a few things where we have to do things differently. But yeah, other than that, I always try to build in a little bit exclusive stuff here in the series, so I'll let you guys know something before I tell it anywhere else, at least when I have something to say. I don't really know if I have much to announce at the moment, but maybe a few things that I'm currently thinking about. I'm thinking about buying a new camera. Actually, I've been thinking about buying a new camera for maybe 5 years now. But I just find it difficult to make up my mind what I really want. I spend a lot of time to research, and then I figured, okay, I want that camera, and then I start thinking about it, and then I wait, and then time has passed, and I think, okay, maybe something has changed in the market. I start researching again, and I keep repeating this process for quite a while. I found another camera now that I'm interested in, which I might end up buying. I think, yeah, it has some nice features. It doesn't have everything, and that's my problem. I'm always finding a camera which is really nice, but it never has everything I want, and that's probably because there's just no camera that has everything I want. But yeah, that's one thing. I'm looking into doing maybe a little bit of a trip around Europe. sometime this year. I really haven't traveled any this year. This is really, and it has nothing to do with coronavirus or anything else. I've just not traveled, and I haven't missed it as such. But obviously, I would like to start traveling again at some point. I think this is the longest break for me in many years where I haven't been flying anywhere. But yeah, well, it will start up again. And I've also been thinking about a new series, and I've actually been thinking about that for quite a while. I don't want to say too much because it is still very hypothetical, but it would be involving you guys, and it would be involving people from the real-life aviation industry. I hope to be able to do something about that this year, because I really have been thinking about that for a long time, about the concept, how it should be, what I would like to do, and I do think I have found now something that I hope could work, and that I hope that you guys could enjoy. So yeah, who knows, maybe at some point throughout this year I will have a new series going on the channel. Yeah, but anyway, that's basically what I'm up to at the moment. Looking at cameras, looking at a possible trip around Europe to do some flying. Obviously I would try to do some trip reports, do some spotting again, visit friends on my way, and yeah, and then working on a new series. Obviously at some point I should also start again filming my airport updates. Philadelphia will obviously return. I do technically have the time to film it right now, but I probably lack a little bit of motivation, and I also don't want to start up Philadelphia while Cardiff is still running, although the last episode of Cardiff is coming up. So once that is done, well, when I say last episode, it's the last episode of this season, of this current season. But once that is done, I think I will start looking into recording a few episodes of Philadelphia, so we can get that going as well. And what I'm doing here right now is also, other than just working on how the interior will look at the airport, I'm adding a lot of trash cans here at Terminal 2. I will have to do that at Terminal 1 as well. And I think that's because, no, I don't think so. It is because what I was reading up in the developer blog, which is something that I had completely ignored so far, is that they have changed quite dramatically how garbage is accumulating. Basically, you didn't really need garbage cans beforehand. Well, at least in the last 1 or 2 versions of the game. It didn't seem to matter that much. If you had a few janitors, they would clean up any mess there would be. Now, it does seem to be quite important that you do have garbage cans around your terminal areas, so that passengers don't just throw it on the floor, because they will do that. Okay, as we are getting towards the end of the episode, it is time to look at some airlines to sign a few more contracts. So let's see what we have here. Alright, so it does look like the game has loaded in a few airlines that I haven't seen here before, which is nice. I don't know if you remember, but I did kind of complain about it last episode, that I have a lot of mods for these airlines. They're all activated, but they're just never loaded in some of the airlines, like for example Aeromexico or Alaska Airlines. But it does seem like they have come in with a few, like, oh, here, United Airlines, for example. But this one only has 737 and 757. I mean, 757, I guess, could maybe make the trip. But first, here's Croatia Airlines was one of your suggestions, so we will get that. Etihad was a suggestion. This one only has the A320. I'm still looking if there's a mod which has a larger aircraft of Etihad, but I'm not sure that exists at the moment. Let's see. What else do we have? Just quickly looking at my list to see what else you guys have requested. Ryanair wasn't particularly a request. I'm surprised we haven't signed them already. So let's do that. Air Canada is a request. And this one only has A320, so we can't really do that because that would not be realistic. Iceland Air is, however, a request. So let's get those. I will have to look if there's another mod for Air Canada with wide-body aircraft, because that would be nice. Middle East Airlines, not a request, but I will add them because it does have a wide-body aircraft in their list. So that could be quite nice to get in. JetBlue, but only A320, and they obviously don't fly to Europe, so we won't be adding those. Saudi Arabia, I've been looking on for quite a few episodes now, and we will sign them as well, again, because they have wide-body aircraft, not a viewer-requested airline, but I will add them on my own free will. Wow, I do have that. Let's see, we do still have a few. Flybe, I think some of you guys asked for it, but I didn't note it down, so that's my fault if I didn't, but now we will have them. Turkish Airlines was a request, so let's get those, and they have A319, 20 and 737, so that's good. Or was it 21? It doesn't matter. Airbus and Boeing from Turkish Airlines, Delta, we had Delta, Aeroflot, let's see. Yeah, why not? Let's get them as well. I want to look at Delta, and that's the same as with United. The largest aircraft type here is the 757. I'm not quite happy with that. I would like to have a bit larger aircraft coming in from them. I did sign, well, yeah, we will have to see. Another suggestion was Finnair, which one of you guys requested, so we will get those. We also have the request of Serbia and Widerøe from Norway. While I'm looking here at American Airlines, again, it's not the right aircraft types, but they haven't shown up yet. I know that I have those airlines, so Widerøe and Serbia, I know I have those mods, but if they don't show up here, I can't sign them. So we will keep them on the list, and hopefully next time we load up the game, they will come in, and then we will sign them. I do apologize for that. And I will have to look again if there are any other mods of North American traffic which has larger aircraft types than what we have here so far. I mean, I'm happy to see them now. It's the first time I'm seeing them. Air Canada, United, Delta, it's the first time we get them loaded in the game now. But I'm not happy with the aircraft types, so yeah, we will have to check that out. And obviously next time we also need to work on our timetable again. Right, guys, I think that's all for today. Yeah, we also need to take a look at the waste depot and the catering. Also something for the next couple of episodes. Lots of things still to do. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have so, then don't forget to smash the like button. It really does help us out. And of course, if you're new around here, you're always welcome to hit subscribe. Thank you so much for your time, for watching. And of course, also any feedback is always appreciated down in the comment section below. With that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.